Hello, hello, we're back at it again with another review. This is of the Better Than Chocolate by Too Faced. This is the first Too Faced palette I've ever tried, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm a bit let down. I was surprised, and then I was let down, so let's talk about it. This is the box. I ended up finding this on Amazon during like some sort of huge sale I think Amazon was having, so I ended up buying this from Too Faced on Amazon for about $17. That's what the sale was. This is the outside packaging. They got the colors right here on top, which is really nice because if this ends up going at a TJ Maxx or something, you can see what colors are included inside the box. That is the back. And allegedly this is cocoa infused eyeshadow palette. So there is cocoa infused into this palette. This is the tin palette. I think they're quite famous for this type of kind of metallic tin packaging. I really like it. I love how travel friendly it is. It makes your makeup feel so safe for it to be in this palette, and none of my shades ended up breaking or anything. So we just open this up like that. Oh, you can just... So these are the shades. I really, my attention was catched by this palette because of how deep the shades were. And that's just one of those things I always talk about, like, these shades aren't deep enough for my skin, I can't see it. It's always one of my #1 complaints. So I was really excited to use this palette, but also kind of suspicious. So I really like this palette, I was excited to use it, and then I was surprised, and then I was sad, and then I was surprised again. So I want to start off with, the first look that I did was I used Lick the Bowl, Bless Your Tart, Nice Buns, and then I think I used What the Fudge as well. I was very surprised to find that these brown matte shades down here actually did end up working on my skin. I could actually see them. I was so surprised, so I got excited. And this shade, while the shimmer was a bit more drier than I was expecting, it worked quite well and it was very beautiful, and I was like, okay, alright, let's go to the next one. And then I applied this middle row. Oh, girls. This shade, Sugar Rush, I haven't seen any other reviews yet, so I don't know what other people are saying, but Sugar Pan, hard panned instantly. Like, I don't know if it's because this is an older palette, and that's why it was at Amazon, and why I was able to get it at such a cheap price, but I could not get anything from Sugar Rush, because you can see the hard pan, like, it's just, I was getting nothing from it. Nothing from this purple shade, which is a letdown, because it's one of the only colors in this palette. And then I moved along up here, and I was kind of getting the same thing with Milk It and Gold Digger. It just, these shades were quite hard to apply on the eye. I think on the face as a highlighter they weren't too bad, but I should be able to apply it on my eye. You can already see that Gold Digger is starting to hard pan. Milk It was too soft, kind of similar to that Jeffree Star shade. It was just much too soft. And then I ended up with these last three, Skinny Dipped, Ooey Gooey, and Midnight Snack, and those did fine on my eye. So I don't know if that's just the usual kind of formula, and if other people had those kind of same complaints, or if maybe I just got an older palette, and that's why some of the shades in here aren't very good. I think I'm going to try and swatch my 2 favorite shades in here, and then the 2 worst. So I think I'm going to try and swatch. I was really surprised by Bless Your Heart. The shimmers are a much drier formula than I'm used to, but some of the shimmers didn't really have much of an issue. I think I'm going to go... I really liked that one. What was the other one I really liked? I think I was... Let's try Cake My Day. I think this is the one I just wore yesterday. I think I was quite surprised by that one. My husband's like, I love your rose gold makeup. The worst shades, if I can even get it on my finger. Because it is so hard panned. At this point, I'd say use this as a highlighter if you can even get anything out of it. And then I wasn't very fond of, let's do Sex and Candy. So it's not just shimmers. I did want to say, it does smell like artificial cocoa. Oh, this blue, Bless Your Tart. I love this blue. So this is Bless Your Tart. And Bless Your Tart is more of a topper, which I'm never really into toppers, but the effect, it's like a duochrome. It's like a purple blue with a kind of an undershade of like black. So this would look really pretty with dark colors, which is why I think it's in here. And then we have Cake My Day, which is, like my husband said, kind of like a rose gold. It's a very light color, but I thought it looked very pretty as a light color paired with darker ones. And then let's see if we can even get Sugar Rush to appear on my hand. It is so light because it is so hard panned. I think you can see a bit of purple and a slight shimmer. That's probably the best I'm going to be able to get it. And then this Sexed and Candies I didn't really like. It just didn't look the best on my eyes with my skin tone, personally. But here we go. These are two of my favorites. Beautiful, beautiful shade. I love that shade. And then I think two of my least favorites. This just because of the color. I just don't. It's not one of my favorite colors to use. I don't think it's very. It doesn't really do much on my eyes. But the What the Fudge, awful, awful. Just because it hard panned. I think I'll do one more color. I'm gonna do Milk It, just so you can see. It's very soft. I think I'd rather. It's quite clumpy and rolls up a bit. It's not too awful, but it's still not one of my favorites. I don't know if you can see how much is falling off. She's alright, but not my favorite. Something else, which I'm sure is incredibly obvious, but I'll just point it out every way. It kind of feels like there's a lot of almost repeats in this palette. I think Lick the Bowl and Nice Buns are quite similar to each other. It may not look so much on camera. I think this one looks a little lighter than this one on camera, but these two are quite similar. And I think I find that same thing with Bless Your Heart, I'm sorry, Better Half and Cake My Day. These two look very much alike. Buttercream and Bite Me also are slightly similar. This is a little bit more pink, but those also look a bit similar. Cake My Day and Brownie Points, also quite similar. It feels like there's some almost repeat shades. And I'm always saying I would love a dark brown, but I mean, I don't know. I understand it's supposed to be a chocolate palette, but it just sucks that the mattes in here are much better than the shimmers, and the shimmers are just not the best. Overall, I think I'll be a little hesitant. I'll see if there's another Too Faced palette that ever comes up that I'm like, I absolutely want to try this. But it seems kind of hit or miss with these shades, because I'm so surprised some of them were already hard panned. I'd like a little bit more, you know, variety. Like, what's this one? Reality Check and I'm the Dessert also look very similar. They're both kind of rose golds with rose sparkles. It's almost the same shade. It's just like a shade of a touch difference. And is that really worth it for such a small palette like this? I do like that it is travel friendly. I was really excited when I saw this palette. I'm like, ooh, I want to travel with it. But I think overall I'm just going to have to pass this palette down because there's just too many shades in here that just literally the formula is not good. And half, I would say like half the palette, the formula is just like not the best, not up to par to what I think. How much does this palette usually go to? Almost $50 for this palette? Are you kidding me? Not worth it for that. For $17, I'm not awfully too upset, but I really feel like I should have received a much better palette. So I think I might try them one more time, but I don't think this palette really was better than Chocolate.